Baseball may be the national game of the US, but it isn't immune to criticism. Major League Baseball has been attempting to repair its damaged reputation as far back as the time of the dinosaurs. Welcome back to our channel. Well, there have been many athletes who have attempted to game the system in sports where grace and natural ability are more important than technical skill. Baseball has been plagued by more scandals than any other professional sport, from its greatest home run hitters using steroids in their primes to players throwing games to cash in on wagers. Let's get into the video to know more about these inside stories, shall we? Number 1. Paranoia and Conspiracy in 1877. Not only was this the first high-profile case of gambling in the major leagues, but also served to raise the awareness of owners about how little their players were making. The 1877 national average wage was an oatmeal miller's lifetime supply. Jim Devlin, George Hall, Al Nichols, and Bill Craver, all of Louisville Grays, were busted throwing games for payments from gamblers. Members of the team were removed from active duty. Once known as Louisville, the Grays eventually departed the team and became St. Louis. Number 2. Years of racial separation. The grand experiment, as Branch Rickey, general manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers, put it. Integration into the major leagues was well underway by the time Rickey signed with Jackie Robinson of the Kansas City Monarchs in 1945. After finally donning a uniform for real in 1947, Robinson's impact on the sport was instantaneous and revolutionary. Before Robinson, baseball had been denied access to some of the greatest players ever due to racial discrimination. Number 3. Drug testing in Pittsburgh. The Parrot is drooling and frothing at the mouth. Even if only by a little margin, the Pirates were a superior club when they included recovering addicts on the roster. Several notable people, including Dave Parker, Rod Scurry, Lee Mazzilli, Dale Berra, Keith Hernandez, and Tim Raines, were called to testify before a grand jury. The testimony only served to further establish that drug use was pervasive within the league. In 1980, during a game against the Astros at Three Rivers Stadium, Rod Scurry reportedly fled in the late innings to get cocaine, and John Milner reportedly purchased 2 grams of cocaine for $200 in the restroom stalls. Milner claimed that Willie Mays and Willie Stargell were the ones who first introduced him to greenies. Here's an example that demonstrates why it's important to proceed with caution when making mascot hires. Pirates' mascot Kevin Koch was the buyer and introducer to a dealer of cocaine for the team. Number 4. Pete Rose's exit from baseball is caused by gambling. This Rose does not have a pleasant aroma. The player who holds the record for most hits in baseball history, 4,256, is not a Hall of Famer. That's because the Dowd report from 1987 revealed that Pete Rose wagered 52 Reds games. He never wagered less than $10,000 in a single day. Commissioner A. Bartlett Giamatti reversed his position and made public his feelings after Rose agreed to a lifetime ban from baseball provided the charges were dismissed and reinstatement was possible after 1 year. A few days later, he had a heart attack and died. He freely revealed his gambling habits in My Prison Without Bars. As an excuse, said he never placed a wager against the Reds, but rather only ever bet on them. He's far too gifted to ever be truly happy with himself. Number 5. The Black Sox controversy. When you consider that the parents of the players implicated in this incident gave their children names like Shoeless, Lefty, Buck, Chick, Suede, and Happy, you can see why this is the most defamatory situation in baseball history. The 1990 World Series between the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago White Sox, often known as the Black Sox, was allegedly thrown by 8 players in the White Sox team. The controversy made national headlines in 1920, and the players involved were suspended from big league baseball. Even though game throwing has been an issue since the 1800s, the league recently implemented considerable reforms in response to the controversy. In 1921, Kennesaw Mountain Landis was named baseball's first commissioner to cleanse the sport of its gambling undertones. To avoid losing the World Series, Joe Jackson might have sold his sneakers for some quick cash. That's all for today's video. Do comment and tell which story amazed or shocked you. We'll be back with more. Until then, please do like the video and subscribe to our channel.